iwradio.co.uk. Isle of Wight Radio.
Are you ready for, not only is he a lovely fella, he gets up very early every morning to entertain the island, are you ready to work the stage, Paul Topping? Yeah! Are we ready to start a big round of applause starting over here? Welcome to the stage, one night only, Paul Topping.
Behind me, I don't know why. Anyway, thank you so much for coming along this evening. I didn't realise there's going to be quite so much swearing, to be honest. Been embarrassed by all of that, but no swearing in my act, you'll be pleased to know. But I do appreciate everyone coming out, raising money for what is such a great, there'll be a joke in a minute, for what is such a great charity. I was hoping tonight, because I know there are some sailors in here, that Shirley Robertson would be here, because Olympic sailor, because she is the person that really got me into sailing and then involved in the Ellen MacArthur Cancer Trust. And she came on the show, and this is absolutely true, and all the stories I tell tonight are honestly true. She came on the show and she said, some advice if you're going out on a boat, because most boats don't have toilets on. And as a man, what you'll need to do is make sure you've got the wind to your back when you need to go. And being a bloke, I knew this. And then, this is the God's honest truth, she looked me up and down and went, yeah, you're probably better if you squat like the ladies, which I thought was reasonably rude. And of course then there's Ellen, who, Ellen? Obviously not at her own event. But the reason I wanted her here is because I bought her book the other day. I don't know whether you've read it, the thing that she did, you know, boat going around. And I read it. It took me about 48 hours, went through it, and she's into all this kind of recycling and, you know, green stuff and everything. So I thought, okay, what do I do with the book? And I was going to take it to the charity shop, and then I realised I downloaded it on a Kindle, and it was a little bit too expensive to do that. Anyway, there will be a joke coming along at some point, and I'm going to try and tell a joke without using a rude word, which will be good as well. Political system on the Isle of Wight. Who voted at the last election? Wow, that's pretty high turnout compared to actually how many people did vote at the last election. Of course, the political system now totally changed from the Conservatives to the Independents, who came in only a couple of months ago. And I don't know whether you've noticed this, but in that period of time, they've managed to reopen some libraries, reopen some toilets. What else they managed to do? They've even managed to get Cowes Enterprise College to open. Yeah, which. So I was thinking, well, maybe they're going to sort out the ferry companies at some point. You know, this is probably going to be one of those big challenges that they do. And then I was realising they're going at such a rate, they probably only have to stand at Yarmouth and just part the water and allow us to walk through. But of course, the problem with the whole election process was there were casualties, and I don't know. You've got to feel sorry, haven't you, for David Pugh. Wave of sympathy. Poor man, unemployed overnight. Poor man, unemployed overnight. It's never going to happen, is it? You're going to try as hard as you like, it's never going to happen. But he did have a plan B, as you would, you know, if you were in that position and you cocked everything up quite so much. And his plan B was to be one of the people that changes all the light bulbs, you know, around the island. We've all been around changing all those light bulbs and everything like that. Of course, what he didn't count on was the fact that Island Roads would come along and put in LED lights right the way across the Isle of Wight, which means the bulbs only need to be changed once every 20 years, or twice in his career, Even though, to be fair, I think that's probably a little bit too much work as it is. I don't know how to cope with that. Let's move on. As I say, Joe coming along in a minute. Dying on your arse. This is possibly the definition. Stop it. Paid £8 for goodness sake. Or some of you 12. Maybe I shouldn't mention that. Anyway, so I thought I'd tell you a few stories about me, because really strange things happen. Like, I met my wife. That wasn't a strange thing, that was a nice thing. Met her, and back in the 90s, been married 14 years this year, actually. Oh, thanks. What was it about patronising rounds of applause? So I thought, oh, well, I met her, and I thought, yeah, she's the gal for me. So I wanted to impress her, and I was wearing moleskin jackets at the time, very, very nicely tailored. Selection of pastel colours. So I thought, I'll choose one of these. That's going to be good. We'll go out, have a night out. So I drove there, and I met her off the bus when she arrived. I don't want to spoil her on the first day. Took her out for a meal, had a 2-for-1 voucher, even thinking of going for a dessert as well. But when we met, I was thinking to myself, I need to this is a true story, I need to find a way of making her remember me. Compliments. What can I do that's going to, I know, I will mention what she's wearing. So she gets off the bus, and there she is, and it's the 90s, and leopard skin print was in at the time, and she happened to be wearing this is God's honest truth, she happened to be wearing this kind of leopard skin thing. And the only thing I could think to compliment that was, oh, you look amazing, you look like the inside of a Ford Cortina. and that is actually true, and she did marry me off the back of that. Moving on, you have children and stuff like that, and I don't know what it's like for those who have children here, but it really annoys me. We've got some young people who work at Wight Radio that come into the office and they go, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to work all the way through the day. I'm so tired. I was up so late. All I want to say to them is, have children and find out what it's really like. When you have children, all of a sudden sleep changes overnight. Well, actually, you don't get any at all overnight. You are so sleep... Hold on. Deprived that you can actually go to sleep with a sunburn on a packet of Doritos and you would still get a good night's sleep. But, kids are great. And I have 2 children, and, I don't know, there are certain things, there are certain moments when you remember for always when you have children. And it was when our second child was born, and you have that period of time to start with where basically you're housebound, aren't you? You're not allowed to go out. Even the husband's not allowed to go out because you feel guilty. I'm going to the pub or whatever it is. You feel guilty about doing that. So we went out on our first family outing, the 4 of us together for the first time. So beautiful day, packed up the buggy, took about half an hour before we managed to get out. Walked down the road, birds tweeting, absolutely perfect, the perfect experience. So, and we went for a sandwich, nothing great, at Tiffin's in Cowes. I don't know whether you know Tiffin's in Cowes, quite a small, compact restaurant sandwich place. So we went in there, and it's lovely smell of baguettes as you walk in, fresh food, a bit tight, but we sat down, everything's good. I've got our youngest child on my knee, a baby, there, and I'm like, who's the daddy? Who's the daddy? Our eldest child says, can I go to the toilet? So my wife goes off to the loo, and I'm there, and everyone's coming out going, oh, how old? Oh, how much away? I'm like, yeah, I am the new father. Until a kind of slightly changed expression on her face, and then a noise. A noise that can only be, well, I imagine it's a similar noise to the people of Pompeii that they woke up to that fateful morning. The ripping sound of explosion. And I don't know why in the 21st century they can't actually produce a nappy that keeps everything in when this happens. But it was like a fountain of baby poo that came spraying up the back of the nappy to about here. It is a true story. Never has something changed so quickly from that lovely, relaxing family night out to being a time of terror. From the perfect dad to all I wanted was her mother to get out of that toilet and come and rescue me. So I'm there, and the smell of lovely baguettes is slowly starting to change into this kind of slightly acrid smell. And if you've been in Tiffins, you'll know that air conditioning isn't one of the strong points in there. And people are starting to pick up on this odour. But the door opens and my wife comes out, and I'm thinking, goodness, she's going to save me. And she comes over and she says, would you like a baguette? Would you like some brie on it? She's like, Gina? No, I've got poo. I need to go. Sorry, I can't hear what you're saying, darling. What are you saying? The baby has shat all down the front of me. We need to go. And at that point, and I kid you not, this is a true story, the lady on the table next to us turned round and said, "Oh, are you that Paul Topic off the radio?" A lot of people say, don't worry, we're nearly finished. A lot of people say, how did you get into what you do for a living? How did you get into broadcasting or DJing or whatever it is? And the bare truth of it is, the first gig I ever had was at school disco back in 1986. Diana Ross, Chain Reaction, top of the charts. The typical school disco, you know, girls dancing, boys sat around the edge after they'd done the knee slide across the front. And I managed to persuade the DJ that this would be a really good idea if I had a go. And it was Dazzling Darren's discotheque. I remember it to this day. And I'm thinking, I'm going to dazzle Darren, I tell you. So after a lot of persuasion, he said, okay, all right, you have a go. So it's in the days of records, so I'm stood there and I chose my record carefully. Nick Berry, Every Loser Wins. Lined up on the decks, ready to go. Pick up the microphone. I thought, I'm gonna dazzle Darren with this. Hello, everybody. Right, this is my first record. I didn't use to actually speak with that funny accent. This is Nick Berry, Every Loser Wins. Record starts, everything's going well. And again, another true story, a brick comes through the window of the school hall, just at that moment. A brick with a note attached to it. It wasn't until later that I actually realised it was my current boss saying, if you go into DJing, don't go anywhere near the Isle of Wight. We are nearly over now. First of all, I've got to say thank you to all the team at Isle of Wight Radio for coming along to support me today, excluding the chairman. Big cheer, all you people from Isle of Wight Radio. Brilliant. Yeah, even Emily couldn't be asked. But thank you very much to all the people from the county press who made it tonight. At least you made an effort, for goodness sake. I've got to say thank you to the county press. You know, they write some brilliant stuff, but it does always worry me because they do take quite a lot of photos of me doing odd things, to be honest. Like tonight, for example, but normally it involves me maybe, I don't know, on a bouncy castle or abseiling down something with one of those harnesses on, and I'm thinking to myself, what happened? You know, the worst case scenario, something really bad happens. You know, I get arrested. Maybe for murder. I'm thinking really bad case scenario. I'm thinking, you know, Alan Marriott, editor of the County Press, is going to go through those photos and choose one that he is going to use. And the chances are that photo is going to be topping, convicted of murder,